Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Joan McDonald, Chair of the New York State Bridge Authority. It is Thursday, April 17th, 2025. This meeting has been publicly noticed in accordance with New York State Public Officers and Open Meetings Law. I will call the roll to assume that we have a quorum. Maria Bruni.
Present.
Lanny Gilbert.
Present.
Michael O'Brien.
Present.
And I am here, and we know that Alex Berardi is on safari in Africa. Will not be joining us, but we do have a quorum. Do I have a motion to open today's meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Lanny. All in favor? Aye. Today's meeting is open. Do we have any public comments? Chris?
Not today.
Okay. Well, today is a great day. We are going to be recognizing many of our employees from the different locations throughout our territory. The Bridge Authority made a very wise decision to marry, if you will, the wonderful photos that our staff and members make of our bridges with our core values. So I'm going to, while some of the awardees are entering, I'm going to read through what the core values are in the vision of the Bridge Authority. As we all know, Minoshka and Lauren and the executive team read a very robust process to develop the Bridge Authority strategic plan, getting input from employees, getting input from the board. So I'm going to read those values. We are community driven, caring deeply about our colleagues, communities, and customers. We have empathy. We put ourselves in other people's shoes, always acting with compassion. Fairness, very important. We ensure everyone is afforded equal opportunities and actively listen to all perspectives before making decisions. Integrity. We are honest, kind, trustworthy, and accountable for our actions. Excellence. We provide our employees, customers, and communities with premium services. And ingenuity, which is very important in today's world. We continuously push the boundaries of what exists by incorporating creativity and innovation in our decision making. So we are going to present the awards, and I'm going to be ably assisted by Minoshka. And we would have liked for everybody to be here, but we also know that it is important for the individuals who are on the screen. The work you do on the bridges and in the field is extremely important. So we are going to be reading the winners alphabetically. So it's not going to go bridge by bridge, but I will identify the bridge or the location that people work at. So first up is Scott Anacone, who works at the Bear Mountain Bridge as an assistant foreman. Here is his beautiful photograph and taken in the fall. Best photography. Congratulations, Scott. From headquarters is Mike Farnazani. Did I pronounce it right? Okay. Mike, beautiful photo. Oh, no. In person, come over for the photo. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Next up, in person, Tyrell Bazemore from the STB. Wow. Looks like Mardi Gras. Congratulations. Thank you. Did we get the photo?
No.
Oh, sorry. Back up.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next up, Olive Cadet, Manager of Special Projects right here at headquarters. A nice little of all the bridges, right?
There's 5 photos.
5 photos. All right. Thank you, Olive. Congratulations. Yep. Next up, Eric Foster, our
He has other now.
And the one with the sunset or sunrise won the most votes of all the judges. So, wow, this is great. Oh, yes, perfect. Thank you. Next up, he's not here. Craig Hill, a foreman at the Newburgh Beacon Bridge, is on vacation, but we want everybody to see his photo. Beautiful. Next, Kim Hoy Baker. Kim is the STB, right? Stand up, Kim.
Everybody. How are you? Happy Easter.
In action.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. Next up, Ryan Joyce, Assistant Foreman from the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. Our employees at work. Great photo. Jack Kelly from the Rip Van Winkle Bridge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kalila Louie from the STB. Are you? Oh, there he is. Oh, great. Yep, between the two bridges, yeah, because it truly is two bridges. Vincent Lucanetta, IT specialist. Where is this from?
That's in Haverstraw Bay, looking north.
Ah, very nice.
4th of July.
Nice.
Very good.
Congratulations. Pete Manise.
Yep.
A laborer from the Mid Hudson Bridge. Might need to, think of a different career. Congratulations, beautiful. And which bridge? Let's see that. Mid Hudson, yeah. All right, Lauren Melendez is not here. She's on vacation. But right, Lauren, who's in the photo taking the photo? Oh, is that all? I figured as much. All right, this is great. Craig Morton is also on vacation. He's at the Rip Van Winkle Bridge. Here. Oh, there he is. Close up. Very interesting. Got it upside down. Really cool. Carlos Santiago is at the Bear Mountain Bridge, a laborer. This is not the eclipse, was it?
Full moon.
Full moon. Really nice. We have Matthew Scott, who's on vacation from the Kingston. Yeah. And we have Jack Banuski. Brususki, thank you. Sorry. Jack. Beautiful. Thank you so much. We got that? Okay.
Let me get it.
Okay.
Perfect.
There you go. And now we have Shannon Washington.
Actually,
Okay. That changed. Yep. Oh, this is a great one too. Close up of one of our. Oh, wow, that's great. So, congratulations to all of our winners.
these were actually you guys took a camera and you went out and you were trying to do a photograph versus you were just doing something else and.
It was all about just doing something else, just working.
Trying.
I woke up at 6 o'clock. I did research.
I got you guys.
Was trying. Was trying to win.
You worked.
So is this one. This one was this spring.
The artist,
Yeah, it's
Crazy
really,
colors.
it's the creativity
Yes.
of the employees is really wonderful, and it's a tribute to all of you. So let's give all the winners a round of applause. Another group of employees on the Osprey team for the act of kindness in the implementation of a safe solution to help the Osprey build their nest at the BMB. So this is Craig Gardner. Manager of maintenance. Craig can always be counted on to think outside the box in regards to every problem he is faced with. His dedication to finding practical and efficient solutions to harmonize with the world around us is commendable. He relishes in the challenge of inventing smart, sustainable solutions for the very unique issues that arise at the Bridge Authority. Congratulations, Craig.
Shout out to the crew at the Bear Mountain Bridge who actually implemented.
Yep.
Yeah.
We read out their name.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Scott Anacone. And I'm gonna, it's the same act of kindness, but I want to read some of the quotes for each of the winners because they all got different quotes. What of you? Great job, BMBQ crew from Catherine. Dennis says, beautiful work by the crew. Good to see it. And Carol says, awesome. Appreciate the efforts to work with nature. So thank you, Scott. Next up is Darius Coulter. Darius. The quote, this is a sign of cooperation between humans and nature from Keith. Barbara says, working with nature is the way to go. Thank you. And Laura says, brilliant. This is how we coexist. Congratulations, Darius. Next up is Steve Corrado. Thank you for making it safe for the birds and the motorists, Patricia. Good job, guys, from Walter. And Ida says, this is so wonderful. Congratulations, Steve. And now we have Chris McDonough. Chris? What an amazing idea. Thank you, maintenance crew, from Misty. Eileen, clever way to accommodate nature. And Stephanie, wow, this is so amazing. That crew is awesome. And that sets it off. We got for the posting of the work that they did. For the Osprey? For the Osprey. Wow. That's terrific. Congratulations, everybody, both the photo winners and the Osprey team. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
I heard another graduate in my school.
Okay, next up is to adopt the regular meeting minutes of March 20th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the meeting minutes?
So move.
Thank you, Michael. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. Are there any questions or comments on those meeting minutes? Okay, I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The meeting minutes are adopted. Next up are Minoshka's reports to the board.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Good morning. NYSBA is currently in the process of hiring some open positions that we have. We are in the process, as we speak, of interviewing for our new Chief Information Officer, as well as our Manager of Design and Construction Contracts. We also have open positions for administrative assistants, laborers, command center, security, and some training positions. In terms of training, earlier this month, NYSBA directors and managers had a training with the workplace, which runs NYSBA's Employee Assistance Program. We learned about the process for repairing staff for EAP services, either on their own or through the recommendations of a supervisor. We appreciate the information that we learn as we seek to provide our employees with the best services possible. Other additional trainings that will be performed in collaboration with the EAP and the Thruway for directors, managers, and supervisors are as follows. On May 22nd, we're going to have a training about emotional intelligence with the Thruway is collaborating with us in this. And then on May 28th, we are again working with the workplace in a training that is supporting people who are supporting people. In terms of National Work Zone Awareness Week, NYSBA will be celebrating this week from Monday, April 21 to Friday, April 25. Each day we will be having different activities at each of our bridges that include internal and external meetings on work zone safety. Safety campaign content creation, social media campaign, and joint press releases among transportation agencies. We'll be on Monday in the Rip Van Winkle Bridge, on Tuesday in Kingston, Wednesday Newburgh, Thursday Bear Mountain, and last but not least, the Mid-Hudson Bridge. The staff photography contest was a great success. We already saw the pictures. They're fantastic. They're going to be displayed across all the different facilities in all the different campuses for the agency. And the National Transportation Safety Board had requested that NYSBA and a number of other bridges owners conduct a vulnerability assessment of both the Newburgh Beacon and the Rip Van Winkle bridges as part of a report issued in March. The purpose of this assessment is to evaluate the potential for catastrophic failure due to vessel impacts and to develop a plan and a risk reduction plan, should it be warranted, to be sure that we protect our bridges. In addition, the report urges NYSBA to assess whether the probability of such a failure exceeds the risk thresholds established by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, AASHTO, in 1991 and reaffirmed in 2009. NYSBA has also been asked to identify and consider both short and long-term strategies for mitigating these risks, that the NTSB report does not indicate the presence of any structural deficiencies in NYSBA bridges. Rather, it is a proactive measure to better understand and address potential vulnerabilities associated with collision. The intent is to ensure that if needed, appropriate countermeasures are considered to further reduce risk and enhance the resiliency of these critical structures. NYSBA also received a letter from the Hudson Valley Senators, and we have finalized both responses and have been sent to both panels. In terms of community, NYSBA continue working on the redecking of the Bear Mountain Bridge. Just last night, we cemented our second meeting. It's going to take place May 24th.
You don't want to do
May
it.
24th.
May 24th is Memorial Day weekend.
Ooh, good
You
catch.
do not want to do
Thank
a
you.
public hearing, public
No.
meeting on Memorial Day weekend.
No, we won, so we will check that.
That's right,
today.
May
Thank you.
24th. Because the next, yeah, yeah,
Wow, all of us didn't know. Thank you for noticing.
okay.
So there will be a new day for us. Public
Glad I
day for
didn't
me.
write it down.
Get the barbecue,
Yeah.
participating virtually.
Maybe more people will show up.
I don't think.
So we will also have a virtual meeting that is scheduled for June. These dates, again, will be announced soon. If you have any questions or concerns, please go to the bearmountainbridgeproject.com and send us an email also at bearmountainbridgeproject@gmail.com in relationships to this project. Then our expo, Stronger Together, Hudson Valley Public Safety, continues in full force. It's gonna take place June 11th. Ever since I wrote this report, now we have 35 entities that have agreed to exhibit at this event, including law enforcement, state agencies, mental health organizations, and even a wild bird rescue organization. Promotion of this event is expected to begin very soon. Our summer internship program is going well. We have many interns already in the process of getting offers. Some others already got offers. We still need many more interns in the maintenance group. So if you guys know anybody 18 and older that would be interested in working in maintenance, we'll appreciate if you can give them a good word and send them our way.
Did you talk to the community colleges?
Yes,
Okay,
and yesterday, Aurelio worked in another job fair.
oh, good.
We attended a job fair at Dutchess Community College, we shared the information. Probably over 50 employers, were in attendance, but those that stopped by our table, we shared with them. And many of them, of course, have a smartphone, so they can scan the QR code,
Great.
and ask them to share it with other friends if they knew of anyone.
Good, thank you.
Then Joe Bertolosi's Bridge Music is back in our towers at the Mid-Hudson Bridge. Please go and check them before October when we take them out again. Wildlife at the NYSBA bridges, the peregrine falcons are nesting on our bridges. We have the falcon cam. A lot of people go and check them, so that is awesome. As you heard before, the ospreys are nesting again after the fantastic idea that Craig had and his group that implemented it at the Bear Mountain to create sort of like a support system for the nest that the birds create. And we've seen the osprey sitting there all the time, so we're looking forward to seeing the babies. And this has been one of our most popular posts in the history of the agency. We are now going to be having an interview from Popular Science Magazine. They're interested in looking at this and seeing how we can do the same with the falcons, put a camera. That's for the future. Hudson Valley Pattern for Progress invited us to an activity with all the leaders of the Dutchess, Ulster, Orange, and Sullivan counties to discuss common issues that the community face, which included largely a lot of transportation and infrastructure issues as top priorities where we are, fundamental to those issues in the Hudson Valley. We had a meeting also with the city of Poughkeepsie. We met Mayor Yvonne Flowers and City Administrator Joseph Donat to discuss employment opportunities, upcoming capital projects, and other issues that we face together. It was a very productive meeting. In terms of strategic plan initiatives, one of our overall objectives was overall excellence. And within excellence, one of the objectives that we had was to foster operational excellence and streamline operations. So we want to remain best in class bridge authority. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to increase the leadership of our directors and our managers in industry association. For instance, this year, Jeff Weiss became the chair of the membership committee of IBTCA, which is excellent. And some of the other, Lauren is gonna be presenting a whole panel in the HR and legal workshop at IBTCA, Communication, HR and Legal, Conference. We also are looking into increasing the participation, in local organizations. So we have strategically started to work with the local community. We have a lot of people that continuously invite us to attend, normally for engineering purposes. So Eric is always busy attending to invitations. Just this week, he met with the cadets at West Point that came to learn from him about the work at the Bear Mountain Bridge. We plan to do that a lot. Danielle and Francine are also always busy, being invited and presenting all over the place. In terms of supporting tolling best practices, for the last 3 months, a team of us have been working a lot on enforcement initiatives that we want to put in place for the tolling. And we have also been working on how do we promote a positive work enforcement. As part of this, we have the photo contest, we have walking challenges. We went to Adams locally to see the annual garden show. We do launch and learn opportunities on different topics. And one of the things that we're looking now is fostering a stronger collaboration with the training group at the Thruway. So we identified, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of the trainings that they do at the Thruway for them to come in. We're starting with one very shortly. And then we're also working on the climate survey to continuously be hearing from our employees. We want to know, if possible, as soon as things develop, what is cooking, how we can improve. A cool thing with our employees is that they not only tell you what is not working, but they always offer suggestions as to, we can do this better if we do it this way and that way, and that's important for us to know. In terms of finance, the traffic in March consisted of 5.3 million vehicle crossings, higher than 2024, but the highest in the last 5 years or ever, to be honest, in the agency. This was approximately a 1% increase over 2024. And the traffic consisted of 88.4% Easy Pass participation and 7.68% commercial vehicles, which is also an increase from last year by almost 1%, which is fantastic. In terms of revenue for the month of February, we had 5.7 million, of which 89% was Easy Pass, 1% tolls by mail, and 11% tolls at fees. In terms of activities to report, I don't have any activities to report. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Questions from the board?
Go back to the community outreach on the Bear Mountain.
Yes.
I read somewhere, and I forget whether it was email, but the commissioners, regarding the costs of that it was going to sort of, it looked like that the proposal was going to be presented in such a way that the decking project was going to be all rolled into one cost rather than differentiated and separated out. Or no, we're going to have with and without the prevention of,
Yes. And for the climate deterrent fencing, one of the things that we asked the engineers was to give us the price of the fencing at 4.5. It will be higher. It will be 53 feet, not feet, inches, because we want to make it bike accessible. We are widening the sidewalk.
Okay.
And to give us the differential price from 53 inches to 8 feet, because that's the highest that we can go.
Okay.
Just to understand the allocation of costs, because we want to track the fencing costs of climate deterrent fencing separately, because as you remember, we have some budget set aside that we don't want to close.
Okay, that's fine, as long as,
And also the overlooks, we're asking for those as alternate because we want to make sure that we meet the 62.1 million,
The original.
original
capital.
estimated,
Right.
capital estimated cost. It may be a little bit higher. They gave us already the heads up that the tariffs
The tariffs will absolutely
We-
have an impact on it.
have an impact on that, so we're looking
okay,
into how much is the impact and how we,
right.
now at this point, what things we will be either needing to take out or what additional monies we can get to ensure that we do the work that we need.
So the analysis of the money, we're not there yet.
No.
We are not there yet. So, and there are lots of different ways to look at it. You have to take a look at what the different components are. We have to take a look at what the impact might be on the capital program if we move other projects,
Mhm.
or what impact there, or what we may need to do to secure other funding. Whatever that other funding means has not been identified.
And I think we should indicate that we're all, as the entire country will be all impacted by the tariffs.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's a whole new,
That's a whole new world for everybody.
Right.
Mhm. Everybody's caught, I saw an article yesterday, I should have brought it with me, that since 2020, so since COVID, because there was increase in, costs
Mhm.
as a result of COVID. This article lined out all of the different, construction items. And it was not just in transportation, it was in housing, it was in, facilities, commercial and government. And the range of increases over a 5-year period was, I think, the minimum of 11% to 100%. Now, the 100% was a very itemized.
Right, right.
I'll get that to the board members,
Okay.
but that is post-COVID, but really doesn't fully capture the impact of tariffs.
Right.
Because if they're identifying what those percentage increases are right now,
Mhm.
it's not
It doesn't-
what they might be in the next 6 months.
Exactly.
Yep,
I have two questions. One, is the input will be limited to just people attending the meetings, correct?
Well, no, we have the
We
website,
have the
so we
website.
publish
People can-
everything in the website and people.
people are free.
And we
people
put
can-
it in
yeah.
social media all the time for people to go and read as much. And the press, we've had a lot of press requests. So we've been sharing with the press the information that is available. So,
Thank you. The 8 foot
yes,
limit that you're saying, is that for maintenance purposes?
yes.
Thank you.
We have an EV that costs a lot of money, UV, I'm sorry, that costs a lot of money. And
Can't use it.
yeah, not using it or changing it, we don't want to spend the money on making it bigger. It's like a $1.5
Yes.
million expense for a truck. Unless we get a gift, we're not changing that.
Other questions from the board members? All right, next up is Frank, administration.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
In May of 2022, the board awarded a contract to Scrub Masters Plus Corporation. They're a certified MBE for the cleaning services here at headquarters as well as other buildings on the Mid-Hudson Bridge campus. The current contract is set to expire in May 19th. In the original contract, it contains options for 3 additional 1-year periods, pending board's approval. We're very satisfied with their services. I would ask the board to approve the 3rd and final 1-year renewal of that contract in a not to exceed amount of $43,950.
Questions? No comments?
Sorry about confusing over the street sweeper. You get old. Hey.
Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second? Thank you, Maria. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Eric, engineering and maintenance.
Good morning, everyone. For the engineering and maintenance, we have 2 procurement items this meeting. And they're both related to fleet management. Item one is as part of our overall fleet management, we've utilized the OGS mini bid system to solicit bids for 3 snowplows to replace our aging equipment. The Lacey Ford submitted a low bid of $174,241 for these trucks, and they've met all our specifications. And we're therefore seeking approval to issue the purchase order, not to exceed the $174,241 to purchase those 3 snowplows.
Questions, comments?
Can we get the car mats with them? Just-
Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted.
Thank you. Item 2 is also procurement, as we seek here in the agency to fulfill our obligation under the state lead by example emission reduction initiative.
Mhm.
We have solicited for 2 electric vehicles to expand our fleet of electric vehicles. And Denoyer Chevrolet submitted a low bid of $137,809 for 2 Silverado crew cab pickups, which we already had purchased 2, and that meets our specification. And actually, this bid is actually lower
Than the
than
first two.
the first 2, so.
Okay, that's
that-
good.
That was good. So therefore, we are seeking approval from the board to continue meeting our obligations, and therefore looking to for approval to issue the purchase order of $137,809 to acquire these 2 Silverado pickups.
Questions? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up.
Next item is accident reports for the first quarter 2025. We have established quarterly accident review to see if we could discern any patterns that may be caused by road conditions that we need to address. For this quarter, there's a total of 51 reported accidents for this quarter. And upon review, we didn't find anything that can be attributed to a road condition. It appears most of the accidents to be driver behavior, driver error, and like driving too fast for the weather conditions, or even just being too aggressive. To be honest, there's a lot of swipes.
Yeah.
So that's what their report will show. The details are in the package.
What's interesting, I guess 2019, that was prior to the electronic, tolling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you look, I mean, it's been constant, at
Yeah.
least probably half the, approximately half.
Reduced it. Yep.
Yep.
Because when you have the gates, people were having to slow down and
Yeah,
not a rear end.
Into a rear end. Yep.
No, we have swipes because we have the.
I'd rather die than let somebody in.
Can you control me?
For jobs in progress, as you heard earlier, the consultant, Lauren Thomas said that they are continuing to develop the details for the deck replacement. And at this stage, they're ready to submit the environmental package to SHPO and SECR for review. So that's gonna be going out. And again, we are scheduling the next in-house meeting. I don't know if it's still gonna be in May, but, we try to push it up early or push it a little out to the first week of June.
Yeah.
And then that will be followed up by virtual. Maybe we have 2 meetings in June before July 4th.
Right.
The next project out is the Mid-Hudson Bridge, the East Approach Deck Rehabilitation. The consultant, Raymond Pattison, they have submitted the final design package, and the project is currently out for advertisement or bids to be received next month. And we are currently fielding questions from potential bidders. Next up is jobs in progress in construction. Hudson Valley Bridge construction, they have resumed the installation of some steel repair that we had at the Mid-Hudson Bridge arch section over the railroad. We expect that that work would be completed in June, middle June. We do anticipate, though, that we have to review the current funding balance of that project, where that is. And once we review it, and I do anticipate a change order, but I don't have the value here. We have to negotiate with them. But looking at the balance that I saw last time and the project being completed in June, I know we'll have to do some review there. Once we get to that stage, we'll again bring it back.
Okay.
Next contractor, PSEQC Construction, they've completed all the assigned work that we've given them, and that project was completed within previously approved budget. We do anticipate exploring, and I saw that you had expertise, maybe I'll speak to you privately. Exploring design build project delivery for a project that we anticipate at the Rip Van Winkle Bridge.
Yep.
We need to get the work done this cycle, so we maintain our good rating for
Right.
the next inspection. So we need to expedite the project delivery where the contractor has their own designer, and as soon as they design one element, they could do the installation of it rather than wait till the end. So we're looking to do a RFP for design build, primarily to work on the Rip Van Winkle. We'll try to include as much overall system-wide steel repair as we can, but our primary focus is to be able to get that project out. So as I'm developing the proposal, I might be reaching out to you. For
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
And the engineering report.
Okay, questions, comments from the board members on the job in progress?
Excellent job.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So,
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The report is approved. Next up, Brian.
Thank you. Good morning. First up, the monthly investment report. There were 9 investments to note. We're seeing market rates continue to slide from where they were last year. You'll notice the first 3% or the 3% range purchase that we have received in quite some time. We were up in the 5.25, and now we're back down in the 5.3s. See what happens. Those investments are reflected in the investment inventory. We're sitting at 123,350,000 available to support the capital program, and consistent with what I was saying before, as far as market rates, we're seeing some decline from January to February from 4.33 to 4.25.
Questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Second.
Second,
Thanks, Lanny. Maria?
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up.
The Accident Review Committee report for Q1 2025. As Eric had gone through the details of the accidents themselves in the summary that he previously provided, this is really the Accident Review Committee's report indicating the accidents involving authority vehicles. There are 3 accidents, none with injuries. A summary is provided in the memo. This memo is only for information purposes, no action is required by the board.
You did get a well report about the municipal golf carts.
I know.
I think you jinxed it last time.
I think you did.
Mr. Golf.
Missed the golf cart.
You get it back again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next month it'll.
Yep.
be perfect.
Okay, next up, Human Resources, Aurelio.
Chair, good morning. In 2022, the authority awarded a contract for occupational health services to the workplace at Mid-Hudson Regional Hospital of Westchester Medical Center located in Poughkeepsie. The original contract agreement issued in March of 2022 provided for 3 additional 1-year renewal. We would like to execute the 3rd and last renewal effective May 1st, 2025. I am recommending that the board renew the agreement effective May 1, 2025 for 1 year with an amount not to exceed $45,000.
Questions, comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni. Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution approved and adopted. Next up, Francine.
Good morning, everyone. The first item I have up is the renewal for our network equipment. It's our maintenance and software renewal. Each year, we renew this support. This support enables us to utilize our equipment for any issue relating to the network. This includes all the firewalls at the facilities and software and VPN connections to the authority. It also includes software and security updates and firmware updates. Through the OGS contract, we requested a quote for this procurement. We received 28, we sent it out to 28 eligible companies. Nathaniel Rand Inc., a New York State certified MBE, provided a quote of $26,294.08 for the renewal, and that is in our operating budget.
Questions, comments? All right, do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Maria. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Okay. Next up, Francine.
So the next thing we have is our renewal for our web filter product. We installed a web filter called Zscaler, and it has an enhanced security reporting features. We did get a 3-year quote last year for this and through the OGS contract, and Carousel had given us the lowest acceptable bid. We would like to renew for the 2nd year of $19,486.02 for 2025, and this is also identified.
Questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Michael O'Brien.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. We have nothing in bridge operations, command center, electronic tolling, and media. But we do have a presentation from Danielle.
Yes, yes, it's on just the
You mean that?
wrong one.
Sorry about that.
You are going to-
Kingston. Kingston.
Who's that?
Think that I not.
So we take the bar.
Oh, yes, let me hide that for you.
So now that we have 2 full years of data, since we have started collecting and presenting on it, we just wanted to give a quick highlight between 2023 and 2024. So we're just giving some top line info. If anybody has any more specific details, we can get into, we can supply that later. So 2023 versus 2024 incidents by bridges. You can see that consistently throughout the years, Mid-Hudson and Newburgh continue to have more incidents. And they did go up a little bit from 2023 to 2024, but part of that is because throughout the data collection and reporting process, we've identified different incidents, the different types of categories in the incidents we wanted to report on. So with 2024, we started talking about pedestrians on the roadway. We started looking at debris, and we started including those categories within our data set. So that contributes to the increase. For response times, you can see they've been significantly reduced throughout the years, the 2 years. But that's a great testament to, looking at the data as much as we do and looking at incidents specifically to see where we could improve. So both law enforcement and STB times decreased. And you can see, Rip and Bear, they did not decrease year to year. And part of that, we're looking into specific incidents as to why a lot of response that is longer is an incident where maybe we didn't have someone staffed or someone that just started a shift. We had to get someone out there, or traffic delays, but we do look at outlier incidents to see what caused those significant delays and how we can get those bridges down. KRB, Mid-Hudson, and Newburgh, we have gotten down significantly year over year, and we've worked really closely with law enforcement to get their times down as well. So we've tried to learn the appropriate verbiage for quicker response and how to get them to, come to us more quickly and really out circumstances that require response quickly. So that's a success. We continue to look. So anytime we identify anyone via camera or in person, however we may identify someone, even if they're not exhibiting really robust signs that may point to something, we are proactively sending our staff out to check on people, ask them how their day is, just make sure that they're not in distress. And you can see the blue represents the people that we've welfare checked on, which is where we go out and talk to them and then they leave, versus the pink, which is where we go out and talk to them and they're transported by professionals. Oh, sorry.
No. Like debris or accidents or breakdowns, I could see where they would fluctuate with traffic levels. Do these fluctuate with traffic levels as well, or are there hours when these occur?
There's a lot, the data points to there's hours that these occur more often. But I mean, it's cyclical, right? So like we see a lot more activity on the sidewalk in nicer weather. And then based on activity, again, we're going out and responding more often. If it's the middle of the night and we don't expect regular usage, we go out and check proactively because we don't expect, somebody to be commuting at 2 a.m. at Rip Van Winkle. So we look at all of that. To traffic, I think there's a different slide that shows there's traffic increases, so there's pedestrian activity. I think that is in relation to.
Thank you.
Yeah. So accidents and disabled vehicles continue to be some of the highest occurring incidents. And you can see there's a major difference from 2023 to 2024 with an increase, but some of that is also the way we report. So the command center reports on all accidents, whether we have police reports or not, but the authority reports in a different way. So we changed the command center reporting for board report purposes to be more consistent with authority reports, which raised the numbers. And as you can see, the incidents also went up with an increase from traffic. And then incident detection sources. So this is pretty consistent over the 2 years with the technology we invest in continuing to be the highest sources of the incident detection, along with the CCAs and the STBs when they conduct their tours. And then, so 2023, 2024, and 2025, as we've already talked about, the evolution of the data and our journey. In 2023, when we first started doing this, we had poor James, the only guy in the command center who was collecting data and kind of doing the brunt of the work. He worked really hard to standardize our reports and to get us to a place where it was meaningful. In 2024, we kind of brought on the rest of the department to help log, to help analyze, and James still does the brunt of the work, but he has some support in data entry. And now in 2025, we've actually, thank you, Malin, even though you're not here, he has created a dashboard for us. So we still have a lot of manual work on the back end with the way we enter the data, but the way we can visualize it now is very amazing. And we're going to show you that for our 2025 Q1. So I will pull that up now. No, I'm very technical. Thank you.
And which one you're doing, this one?
Yep.
Okay, let me just. Thank you. Oh, let me. Oh.
So Malin has made you a special report for the board. So this has been really fantastic for us. And I think because we can really go in here and make decisions on the fly, see things in real time. So we'll transition to this dashboard moving forward. But so this is for Q1 2025, which on the back end we compared to Q4 or Q1 2024. And there's a lot of similarities, which kind of just speaks to the cyclical nature of what we experience. So in 2025, which Q1 here, we've had a total of 350 incidents. This increased a little bit from Q4 in 2021, but again, we've started reporting on different things. These metrics are pretty consistent with what we've seen in previous years and previous quarters. So disabled vehicles continue to be our biggest incident category. Everything here is pretty much in line with what we've been experiencing. And then just to caveat, these 2023 and 2024 is not up to date in the dashboard yet. But moving forward, once that is, we'll be able to have a really nice annual comparison, quarterly comparison. So that'll be nice. Then this is pretty much consistent as well. Our response times continue to be decreasing and more quickly responded by from our own staff than from law enforcement. Again, disabled vehicles and accidents remain our highest categories, and the majority of incidents are happening in the morning and the afternoon. And you can see here, the majority continues to happen at Mid-Hudson and Newburgh, which is consistent with previous quarters. Again, as we just said for the previous years, city logs, site logics, the technology we invest in for detection continues to be our highest detecting source. And then just to highlight when all the data is filled in, this will be really great. We can just click on a category and kind of break it down, which is nice when we're looking at something more specific. 2025, we've only had 1.5 quarters to compare, but being able to compare once we have full quarters worth of data, again, we can break it down by incident type. So we can see that in Q1, we had 350 incidents so far. Q2, we're only halfway through, but so far we're trending at about 1/4 of that. And then finally, we can see here, this is by year, but again, these years are not accurate yet, but 2025, this gives us a nice view of comparison from year over year, and we can drill it down by incident. So if we're looking at, accidents, we can see just what had to 80 in 2025 so far. But once these are filled in, we'll be able to have an annual comparison. So
I can see that in March, this year snowed more, so there were more accidents than last year that it didn't snow at all.
Oh, yeah, we've had no weather, yeah. What did I just have on accidents?
But the whole thing with this dashboard is that it allows Danielle to operationalize her activities in terms of the staff. Like, I know where this is happening, where suicides would be happening. The people here, looking at trends is super important.
This is not public yet, because we're not really finalized here yet, but one of the things Melinda's helping us work on is giving us details of where incidents are occurring, so certain locations and what those incidents at the locations are, which is gonna be really helpful when we start to drill down, you know, and be able to figure out, do we need to station people here? Will we work with law enforcement? We can give them an idea of where our biggest things are occurring, so it's a little preview.
Danielle, question, is law enforcement response changing at all, or is that?
Yeah, it depends, yes, and, you know, their response is always based on their location
Right.
and based on what else is happening at the time. So what we've learned to do is use certain verbiage and keywords when we have more serious events that we need them to respond more quickly to. You know, debris is less of a concern, not still a concern, but it's less of an immediate concern for their response as if we had an EVP. So they are very good partners, and they come and, you know, they do what they're supposed to, but it depends on what's happening around them. And now there's a lot of different partners that, so 911 just sends out the blast and whoever's closest responds. So we're trying to meet with everybody that has the potential to respond. But they're pretty good for the most part. We're better.
I couldn't help it, once you showed that their average response is 10 minutes and 28 seconds at exactly 10:28 a.m. And I'm saying, is that the time?
And one of the things that we're doing with the work week that is coming on Monday is we invited all the local officials as well as all the local partners that attend to the bridge. And we're coming with a bunch of data about that specific bridge. This is what happens, this is what is happening, this is what we see, to ensure that they know, they understand where we're coming from. That is not that we are randomly calling people, but this is, for instance, RIP, that is the first bridge that we were analyzing the data. People are supposed to go at 40 miles per hour, maximum speeds we see of 65. So when people are flying through the bridge, that's an issue, and we are raising the awareness of all the immediate issues that we have, so they know when we call. So we are preempting them. So when we call, it's gonna be a more comprehensive understanding of the issues that we face and the issues that they face, how we can, on our end, learn. So like Danielle says, what are the keywords we need? Whatever we need, let us know, and we're gonna be the partners that you need. So this is what prompted, doing this activity to ensure that we have their support.
Very good. Thank you, Danielle, to
Thank
you and your
you.
team. Nicely done.
Invite everybody public hearing, the state police weighing in about what phenomenal job it's gonna shoot.
Yep. Next, we have no old business, new business. Brian is going to give us a regulation update.
Okay, this was tolling regulations have not been updated since the implementation of electronic tolling. Originally, when we made the update back in 2020, it was to go and reflect a gradual migration to electronic tolling, meaning that we were running staffed and unstaffed tolling at the same time.
Got a hybrid. Yeah.
In order to go and update that as well, so we're removing all the references to staff tolling, as well as to go through and make updates for recent revisions in tolling enforcement under Public Authorities Law, Section 2985 and 2985A. Kevin had worked with Chris Shaw, who worked with before, spoken to before, to create some updates and eliminate all the references to the old tolling. This is not the board approving. Right now, it's just the board approving to make these documents public. In this board item, there is a completed clean version and formatted for the purposes of publication, as well as a black line version. After a public comment period ends, at that point, the board will consider the comments received from the public, and then at that point, we'll go and ask you to vote on the change.
Okay. Questions from the board members? Comments? So we have to approve this to go public, okay? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. We have no attorney-client privilege because we have no attorney. And our next meeting is scheduled for May 15th at 9:30 a.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting? Thank you, Maria. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Today's meeting is adjourned. All right, thank you, everybody.
I just.
Oh,